Hi, you're watching Martial Reader. In the previous chapter, the Mushroom Kingdom was invaded, and the king is dead, so the king entrusts his heritage to be passed down by the generals, while Wazzy witnessed the war before his eyes. Now he decides to become a mushroom brave instead. Now on to the next part. Few days have passed. Wazzy and Piggy are now traveling, while the system keeps reminding him that a monster cannot change their class. Annoyed, he asks if the system isn't tired of doing this, and asks it to just show him the map properly, since he wants to know how long it will take before he can get back to the starter village, which it did, as he thinks loudly that now they have been walking for over a day now. If the map is accurate, they should get there by tomorrow, but the system still keeps pestering him about the error, so he asks it to stop, and clarifies to it that he will just go to the starter village to take a look, and he is not planning on changing his class anymore. Therefore the system stops the message. Meanwhile, Piggy looks at Wazzy as its tummy growl, but his mind is set on to find a way to change his class, and he believes that stamina potion is enough to satiate Piggy's hunger, as he orders her to go full speed ahead to the starter village, while Piggy's tummy still growling. In a change of scene, at the place called Source Volcano, lava, heat and volcanoes fills the place. As the volcano erupts, the rocks that came from it is a food source of a lavaconda, and they are mostly at level 50 and up, and this creature is common around this place, while the ship is traveling back to the guild. And the Eye of Firebane Guild has barriers that protect them from unexpected projectile, while it ignores an ally as the ship easily passed through it. Then a bell rings. To notify the people of their arrival, the vice leader went straight ahead to the main castle. As he opens the door, a kid runs towards him and happily welcomes him. As it turns out, that kid is the guild leader named Balin Hogg, and a level 119 poison master. Then he asks if he has the materials that he requests, which he takes out the crown and gave it to him, which made him happy to receive it. As he jumps and acts like a kid, then the vice leader asks him for the thing he promised to give him, so he halts his celebrations and takes out the medicine he synthesized for his big sis Marianne, but it slips from his hands, which the vice leader catches as he seemed to be used to this kind of things, and he adds that he has sent all the corpses to Balin's lab just as he ordered, which he was thankful for, and so he went on his way. But before he leaves, he asks him if the Mushroom King undergoing demonification and turning into a demon king was also part of Balin's plan, to which he smiles got darker, as he turns around and feign ignorance as he doesn't even know what a demon king is. So the vice leader decides to never mind it, and tells him to just call for him if there is anything else he needs. And now that he is outside, he orders Marianne for them to go. As they were walking, Marianne suggests for them to stop this, since so many people died because of her. He responds that he was the one who ordered them to go there, and they will leave once he finds a way to get rid of that poison in her body. As for the ugly stuff, he will take care of it. Meanwhile, Balin descends using a spiral staircase which leads to the ceiling altar, with the golem's heart. Now in front of it, he throws the crown into the lava, and as it melts completely, the lava slowly rises up, and now another part is complete. The cat spirit Queen Eyes and Mushroom King's crown have now been absorbed. Now there's only one more ingredient, while the true follower of Golem is beside him. Whether he sees it or not, we do not know for sure, as his smile gets darker with his intentions. Now that he is close in obtaining the true love's heart, Golem's power will be his, while the place trembles because of this. 2 days later, the two are still traveling. They have met all sorts of weird monsters on the way here, and it is a good thing Piggy is faster than them. But for some reason, the system stopped responding after displaying the error message last time, and it is kind of boring without anyone who can talk to him. And the mission interface also got stuck on this mission, but it is a good thing that the other functions still work. As he looks at his ability panel, next is inventory, which he remembers that he initially wanted to use Decompose to absorb all the spoils left behind from the battle, but that bastard fire mage scorched the whole place to the ground. The only thing left was the skin of the Werewolf King, and just thinking about it makes him angry, since he has spent a few more days at the Mushroom Kingdom while waiting on the cooldown for Decompose. Then he used it on the magic staves while sitting his cake on it in a most satisfying way, but still the magic staves didn't give him anything good. Most were heavily damaged too, so they only gave him about 100 experience each, which he realized using Decompose on just anything isn't very effective. And then he attempts to use Decompose on the Werewolf King's pelt, which the result is even worse. Not only did it fail, the cooldown was still triggered, and it made him waste a whole day waiting for nothing, which the system informs him that the target's magic resistance is too high, and advises him to try again when Decompose reaches a higher level, as Wazzy is angry at it for not warning him earlier, and shouts at it to give him back his time, and that is not fair. But actually, the system already explained the limits of Decompose, which he just forgot. Suddenly he noticed that Piggy is acting strange. As she collapses, he uses praise to know the problem, as he was shocked to see that he can now see other monsters' abilities. But with further investigations he sees that Piggy seems fine, and wonders why Piggy suddenly faint. So he asks Piggy what's wrong, so he offers a stamina potion and a health potion, as he was clueless on what happened to Piggy. While he dangles the apple in front of her, her eyes locked on the apple, so she instinctively went for it, as she was desperate to eat it. But this made Wazzy think that Piggy felt better, so they started to continue their path. Now that they are very close to the starter village, he noticed the snail monsters are starting to appear again, and since they are close to the starter village, he takes out a recall scroll and activates it to take them to the starter village. And when he used it, magic circles formed below them, and magic started to form, but it was cancelled, and the system informs him again that monsters can't use the recall scroll, which Wazzy was angry, since the troll system says to him the distance was too far so it couldn't be used. And now that they are closer, it is telling him monsters can't use it, and he asks if it is toying with him, but it just showed him his current mission. So Wazzy waves it away as he tells it to stop trying to make him do that stupid mission. He can't even use a recall scroll as a monster. He wants to become a brave, and it can't stop him. Wazzy is still optimistic as it doesn't matter to him if they can't use the recall scroll, since he is not in a rush anyway. And if he can evolve at level 20, that must mean that the class change also happens at level 20, as he smiles while planning to farm newbies, since it is the safest way to earn experience and level up. After that he taps Piggy for them to go, but she was unresponsive, so he asks her if she is feeling unwell and offers a health potion, and tells her to hold on a little more. Once they level up, they can get rid whatever illness she has, as he was clueless of the situation Piggy is in. While in the distance the boar and the chieftain is looking at them from afar, specifically at Piggy. Few moments passed. Wazzy and Piggy is near at the starter village teleportation gate, so he used appraisal to see its information. Now he knows that it teleports the people when they are in critical condition, so no wonder the newbies didn't die when he defeats them last time. Unfortunately, the appraisal didn't tell him when the newbies would come, so he had to wait there. Coincidentally, the newbies started to appear, as they are now energetic and hopeful to level up this time. The lovely-looking girl appeared again in front of the snail, as she brings down Judgment to kill it brutally, and the other kids follow, as they stab, slash it, and burn it, as they are now confident since there are now a higher-level newbie with them. But Wazzy is not going to let that happen, as he appeared and cast Spore Explosion, and once they are too busy trying to breathe, he swiftly beats them to a pulp. With this lord here, who dares to harm his little snail friends, and went on knocking down the slightly higher level adventurer, while Wazzy noticed that the experience that these newbies give is a little low. But luckily another punching bag appeared on the scene, which Wazzy was very delighted, as the newbies were energetic to kill the snails, but they were beaten by a mushroom instead. Now the second wave of newbies are killed, and he earns 630 experience points, then the third wave with 540 EXP. And the fourth wave was a little more smart as they climbed the platforms, so that the mushroom couldn't get them, while Wazzy just smiled with malicious intentions, as he sees his prey just delay the inevitable, while the adventurer gained a false sense of security. Wazzy used Mushroom Bash to leap, and now the fourth wave of newbies killed, and he earns 720 experience points. After a day of manual labor and slaughter, they rested in front of a campfire. Wazzy offered the health potion as a dinner, as he thought that the potion could help make Piggy's hunger go away. But Piggy didn't even want to look at it. This concerned Wazzy, so he looked at her stats while he wondered why she didn't want to eat, since he hadn't given Piggy any potions today. But her HP and SP were still okay, so he thought it would be fine. Then he tells Piggy to just sit back and rest, since she has been carrying him all the way here, and must be too tired, and to leave all the experience farming to him. Then he looks at his attributes, which made him ecstatic to find out that he is now level 18, and all it took was a day of farming newbies, and as long as he keeps this up for a few more days, he will be able to reach level 20 safely. and since it is night time, he decides to sleep and save stamina potions for tomorrow. So he sleeps beside Piggy and say goodnight to her, while Piggy opens her eyes to see Wazzy as a mushroom-shaped steak. So this filled her with excitement and went for a bite, but she regained her senses and controls her hunger. While in the distance, the boar chieftain is furiously looking at Wazzy. The next day, Wazzy wonders why no one is showing up today. Coincidentally, they showed up, but now they are scared and unsure. Unexpectedly, now they are with a more experienced adventurer, because the village head asked them to protect the newbies and to hunt the mushroom, as they wonder why there is a mushroom here anyway, since the Mushroom Kingdom was destroyed recently. But they assumed that it must be a stray left behind from a previous wave. And what surprised them more is the village head even hired a level 40 war general. Speaking of mushroom monsters, the blue-haired adventurer heard the axe guy fought with the Mushroom King before, which he proudly states that he was still a newbie following 2 seniors back then, and was unfortunate that they met a monster wave. So in order to let the seniors retreat safely, he stayed to hold the Mushroom King back, and it was a shame he was too weak back then, but he still managed to injure it, and it must be because of that injury that the Eye of the Firebane Guild was able to defeat the Mushroom King. While he boasted about his lies, Wazzy appraised them, and was thinking that it is a little risky to challenge them, as the 2 are already as strong as him and Piggy, and there's even a level 23, but to his beliefs, fortune favor the bold, and as long as they can take the other 2 out, Piggy and him should be able to team up and take care of the level 23, and even if they can't defeat them, surviving and running away shouldn't be an issue with his potions. So he tells Piggy to wait for his signal, but Piggy was out of it, but he didn't notice it, as he used Spore Explosion, and while the adventurer's visions were blocked, he targets the newbies first swiftly. This alerted the 3, then the tanks asks if they would save the newbies, which the other 2 responds that the newbies are just baits, and the reward for killing the monster is a lot higher, so they just aimed for the monster. As Wazzy attacks them, the tank blocks it, but the attack just went through, defeating him instantly, which surprised them how powerful the mushroom monster they are dealing with, while Piggy on the other hand tried to help, but was too weak to stand up, so she collapsed. Then the axe guy used Tomahawk Cyclone to clear out the spores, and he sees that there's even a ribbon pig here, and he has heard a lot of gourmets would pay a high price for this, and would make a much bigger payday than the mushroom. Then the blue-haired guy went to kill it, but Wazzy was there to protect her, knocking the blue-haired guy to the ground, but he used a potion to heal. The axe guy advises him to stay back if he can't do it, which the blue-haired guy still insists on fighting, while Wazzy asks for Piggy to stand up, which he was still clueless on what's happening to Piggy, while Piggy is just staring at him with glistening eyes. As it turns out, Piggy now sees him as a mushroom steak. At the same time, the axe guy is still boasting that he can fight them both, and takes out a potion, which blue hair guy asks what it is. He answers that this is his secret weapon, a berserker potion, so he drinks it all, and now he is full of berserker spirit, and his level is increasing exponentially, and now he is a level 38 as he states that, although this can only last 10 minutes, it will be more than enough to take care of them, while Wazzy curses, since who would have thought that he had such a powerful trump card. So with no choice, he decides to use his secret technique too, and attempts to run as he shouts for Piggy to do the same, but the axe guy uses Earth Cleaver, and break the terrain to block their path of escape. Now with walls in every directions, they can only face the adventurers. At the same time, Piggy is still looking at Wazzy like a steak, and has clearly lost control over her desires. Unexpectedly, the adventurers can be heard pleading for their life. Suddenly the walls collapsed. As the adventurers comes with it, the axe guy couldn't believe the outcome. He even drank the potion but was still defeated by a pig. After that, Piggy ragdolls him and tosses him away. Now that Piggy knocked the adventurers, Wazzy and Piggy has leveled up 3 times, while Wazzy was still baffled on what he witnessed, and was wondering how did Piggy get so strong, but Piggy was still out of it as she turns around to look at him, and was definitely eyeing him like a snack and was drooling all over the place. So Wazzy used appraisal since it leveled up just now, and to see what's wrong with Piggy, and to his surprise, Piggy's satiety has reached 0. Therefore she is now in berserk state, which he was shocked since he thought that stamina points is supposed to be satiety, and now he realized that drinking potions didn't help relieves Piggy's hunger. With this information, he tries to reason with Piggy, but Piggy lost control as she could only look at him as a food. Realizing this, he tried to run, but Piggy pursued him. as he apologized to her while dodging her advances one after the other, and was thinking what to do, since if he gets hit by Piggy, with her attack stat right now, he will be one shot. But he can't drag this on forever either, because Piggy is losing HP as time goes by, as he curses at himself to not realize it sooner, because he was perfectly fine drinking potions this entire time, so he never bothered collecting food. Now that Piggy's in this state, he can't get food even if he wanted to, while he was thinking if he could just let her have a bite a little bit. But to his surprise, a perfectly stacked apples is right in front of his path. While this puts him off a little, he was in no way right to question it, so he points at it, hoping for Piggy to see it, which she comes closer but went straight for the pile of apples as expected. Then Wazzy waits for her nervously, as he anticipates what's about to happen next. But Piggy comes out fine and has now fully recovered her cuteness, as Wazzy can now sigh in relief, and decides to sit, in order for Piggy to take her time eating, while he wonders who left a pile of apples here in the middle of nowhere. After that, Piggy's fully satiated, and Wazzy is now planning to sneak into the starter village and steal the secrets of class changing, so they decide to go through the teleportation gate, while the boar chieftain is standing from the distance while looking at them depart, and it turns out was just looking out for them at the distance, as he dealt with the level 40 war generals and his companion, and probably the one who left the pile of apples for Piggy to eat. Hit that like button and thanks for watching.